One of the most talked about topics after the release of the latest Tales from the SMP episode, The Maze, has been the identity of the first time traveler. Many people initially speculated it was someone like Rambu, who has been confirmed to have helped work on some upcoming episodes for the Tales story. Others have put out names such as Eret, someone with a seemingly long past of which little is currently known in the overall lore of the SMP. But there is one person who has played a part in almost every Tales episode, and one who also has a past in the lore of which we know nothing about. Someone who seems to know more about everything on the server than the average player. Someone who plays a significant role in almost every single major or minor story on the SMP. Someone who could very well fit the role of the mysterious original time traveler. Someone like Dream. This is my theory on how the character Dream is the original time traveler from Tales from the SMP. Before we get into the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. I am trying to reach 1,700 subscribers by the month of May, so it would really mean a lot. Okay, now back to the video. Characteristics of the OG time traveler. In the most recent episode of Tales from the SMP, or Tales for short, there's some major insights given into who the character Karl is as a time traveler. He was someone chosen by the god Dream XD to become a time traveler for reasons we haven't fully figured out yet. But something even more mind-blowing is the fact that Karl is not the only time traveler on the SMP, nor is he the first. According to XD, there was a time traveler before him who eventually forgot that they were a time traveler, which displeased XD. Because of this, Dream XD says that he got rid of the original time traveler, but we aren't fully told what getting rid of actually means. All we know for now is that as a time traveler, you eventually have to make a choice between visiting the in-between, where you can learn to control your time traveling abilities, something Karl has been unable to do up until this point, or go visit the other side, a place which essentially exists as a backup system for one's memory, potentially allowing them to not lose their memory with every use of their power, as well as getting to see their friends from previous adventures. From this, we can most likely deduce that if the original time traveler forgot about their time traveling abilities, it's due to the fact that they didn't spend enough time in the other side to allow their memories to generate, which in turn made them disappear. This is why it's more likely that if the original time traveler is an existing character on the SMP, it's someone whose backstory prior to the creation of the server is something we know nothing about, because they don't either. This is where Dream comes in. Dream is the original time traveler. Dream is the original member of the server. He was both a founding member and has been a part of the story from day one. In addition, Dream is the first human that Dream XD ever saw and is part of the reason why he claims to have a similar looking skin to Dream's. XD also claims to have taken a liking to him, resulting in a similar skin situation. It would make sense based on the way XD talks about Dream, the human he has taken a liking to and even modeled his human form after, would be his original choice for a time traveler. Especially if he had watched Dream from the beginning of the server. But XD's likeness of Dream isn't the only evidence for him being the original time traveler. When looking at Dream's current character on the SMP, he is most often seen as the villain in the story. However, this wasn't always the case. In fact, up until the introduction of the L'Manberg story arc, Dream was mainly seen as a good guy, sometimes getting into trouble, but otherwise nothing like the big bad he's seen as today. So, where did it all go wrong? Well, in looking at the lore of the Dream SMP, we see that Dream's biggest overall conflict has been with Tommy, someone who consistently challenges him and his server's rules. We also see that in the earlier days of lore, Dream consistently came out on top, or at least wasn't the main antagonist of the story. But how did he manage to do that? This is where the time traveling comes in. Dream is a guy who wants control. In his mind, keeping the server as one big happy family. In order for him to do so, he used his time travel powers to make sure things went his way, which is why in the beginning he was seen as more of a good guy. But in order to do so, he would have to learn how to control his time traveling abilities to go back and change specific things. Therefore, once he was done time traveling, he would have to choose to go to the in-between to learn about his abilities, instead of the other side to preserve his memory. But as we have seen from many other forms of time-traveling media, changing the past can have some unintended consequences in the future. Therefore, Dream, consistently trying to use his abilities to keep the server as one big happy family, ultimately ended up with him as the bad guy, having tried to change things so many times that the server became just a remnant of the one he once knew. In addition, the constant time travel is also what led him to lose his memory of time traveling altogether, getting so caught up in his present that the past or future didn't really matter to him anymore. I mean, why else would Dream be able to know so much about the server, like finding Tommy's discs in the ground on the first try, or figuring out how to manipulate Rambu, even from inside the prison? Moreover, it would make sense then that Dream himself doesn't officially have his own home on the server, as he spent so much time trying to fix his present that by the time all that was said and done, his original home in the community house was long gone. Dream XD, in turn, realizing that his time traveler no longer remembered or cared enough to remember about his abilities, pushed XD to just get rid of him. But he still held a soft spot for the first human he ever saw. So instead of killing him, as the Tales episode implies, he simply took the abilities away, leaving Dream to remain in the future he created for himself, where he was now the villain. But Dream, knowing things weren't meant to be this way, yet not remembering he was the reason for the way his life was turning out, found a new way to gain power by finding the Revival Book. The Revival Book has become his lifeline for maintaining control, but as we have seen from Dream's own lore video, he needed to be sure it worked before putting it to the test in public. This is why he conducted numerous tests on other members of the SMP who seemingly would be forgotten, just like his past. This could most likely be a subconscious reaction from him, not fully being able to control his own time-traveling abilities, and why he is so paranoid now about not having full gear for protection. It's because his subconscious mind knows that he had power and lost it, but just can't remember exactly why. Whether or not Dream is the original time traveler, it is safe to say that whoever it is, or was, might be the key to helping Karl understand his power, and why something so powerful could be so easily forgotten. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Let me know in the comments who you think the original time traveler is, and be sure to check out my other Dream SMP theory videos on the screen. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!